everyone, and welcome to the Positively Disney Phone-In Podcast. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, the author of the Positively Disney book series and your host for the podcast tonight. Welcome to you guys out there on Facebook, as well as my Twitch TV folks. I'm glad you could join me tonight. Want to say a quick hi to Donna and to my husband watching. I can see that you are on right now. Well, I don't know about you guys, but gosh, it's getting close to Halloween. And that is one of those big holidays, well, big enough anyways, that I felt that I needed to do two shows leading up to sometimes it's not quite a holiday, but to the special occasion. And, I've had an amazing week, and I've got another amazing couple of weeks because I'm getting very, very close to the time that I will be announcing when the fourth book is going to be released. And I'm so excited because there's some really, really awesome stories and really cool things happening with this book. Quick welcome to Clint. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have been very blessed to have been able to go to Walt Disney World frequently, Disneyland, as well as Disneyland Paris. And I don't know about you guys, but I have some of those go-to rides that I do not miss no matter what park I'm in. And I have three go-to rides, actually. And one is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. The other is Pirates of the Caribbean. And the other is Haunted Mansion. And it is so cool to see the differences in some of those attractions and compare them. And now I have a little story to tell you about the Haunted Mansion that I actually just found out about. About 14 years ago, it was about around October 21st, 2004, Disneyland decided to, they wanted to auction off a tombstone to go into the graveyard at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. And you know how they always say there's 999 ghosts and there's room for one more? Well, they actually found their 1,000th ghost by the name of Dr. Carrie Sharp. And he was aware of this opportunity and thought it'd be a once in a lifetime opportunity to have his name appear, have his name associated with the tombstone. And the auction had got up to close to $37,000. Yes, $37,000 for the opportunity to be that 1,000th ghost. And he decided that he would just squeeze $400 more, and he won it for $37,400. Of course, when you are in a situation auctioning that kind of money, well, probably any kind of money, but that particular kind of money, Disney makes sure that you have, which he did have the amount. And what really transpired after was kind of neat. Dr. Sharp was invited to come along to Disneyland for a special ceremony in presenting to him the tombstone. And what happened is it all started with a carriage ride from Main Street, USA, all the way to the Haunted Mansion. But the cool thing about it is it happened at midnight. Can you imagine going to the Haunted Mansion at midnight when everything is shut down and it's just you and a few other folks, Disney folks, of course, going to the Haunted Mansion? I would think that would be almost a little spooky because I have been in the back of some of those parks later at night. The parks are still open when there's nobody around and it's downright eerie. Anyways, Dr. Sharp gets to the Haunted Mansion and they have a special ceremony that actually presented him with his death certificate, all in fun in honor of him winning the tombstone. Now, if you are in Disneyland Haunted Mansion and you go through the graveyard, you can actually see the tombstone. It's just to your left of the old man and his dog. It's a little bit back, so you have to take a good look. And on the tombstone is the name J. Now, Dr. Sharp was not only a doctor, but he's also a lawyer. So on the tombstone, it goes doctor, lawyer, legal clerk, and the epitaph is brilliant. It was forever buried under his work. Isn't that great? I just thought that was so fun and so interesting because I never even knew about that. And I definitely wouldn't have had the money to do that, but it was really cool. Before I go on to tell you what happened to the money, I wanted to welcome Marisette and Carissa and Kayla. Thank you for joining me tonight. So what happened with the auction money? Well, you know, Disney is all about charity. I know sometimes people think that, you know, there's a lot of money involved and they don't hear about all the charities, but they actually donated the $37,400 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and also to Dr. Sharp's Boys and Girls Club in his hometown in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And when he was asked about why he would put out that kind of money, well, I guess it was more that it was the opportunity. He's a Disney fan, absolutely, but it was more about the once in a lifetime opportunity, and for sure, it absolutely was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Hi, John Little. I just wanted to say hello to John and welcome him onto the show. Well, that's my little story about the Haunted Mansion. But you know, I've loved Halloween since I was a little girl. Growing up in Canada, we had to have costumes that A, either fit over snowsuits, or B, that a second costume so that you could wear one to school and one outside. Because around October, we often had snow and it was so cold. You could barely move in your costume because of your thick underlay of maybe snow pants and snow gear. And I have had so many fond memories. And unfortunately, I do not get to go to many Halloween parties anymore. But I have been very fortunate to go to, I think I've been to two of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I know there's a lot of different theme parks that have Halloween parties around, but I will tell you, I don't really like being scared. I don't like to watch horror movies, maybe tame ones. And the Mickey Halloween party is definitely just is the perfect thing for me and for families too, because I don't want to be scared and I don't want to cry if I am scared. So if any of you guys ever have the opportunity to see or participate in a Halloween party, they are wonderful. You get to go trick or treating to various areas. You have a special Halloween just festivities, dances, and fireworks, and different parades in the evening. So it really, really is a lot of fun. And oh my gosh, when you go trick or treating to the different areas, we're talking not one candy, not even two candy, not even three candies. You get handfuls of candies. And I just actually saw a friend who is actually from the UK in Florida, and their family went trick-or-treating. And honestly, I don't even know if they counted the hundreds of candies that were on their couch with all their trick-or-treating. They did the family 5. I know for me, that's like way too much candy. So I like to use them on my gingerbread houses that I make at Christmas time. Anyways, if you want to call in, the number to call 844-483-4763. And I do have a guest that will be coming on momentarily to tell us about a special tour that I didn't even know about, but I learned from her. And here she is calling on cue. Donna, that is perfect timing. How are you doing?
Yeah, I waited for my cue.
I wasn't,
Call me now. now.
Now's good. I wasn't sure, when you're going to call in or if you're going to listen and, just decide to call in at one time. But thanks so much for joining us tonight. And for all of you that have followed along, I had the good fortune to actually, I think that was like 3 weeks ago now, to go to the Trick or Tea with Donna at the Disneyland Hotel. Wasn't that fun, Donna?
So much fun. It was a great afternoon. Loved it.
Yeah, I did too. And I mean, the food, of course, the company was unbelievable, but the food was great as well too. And I still have to find that apple flavored tea. That's for sure. But
I found it.
Okay.
I found it.
Where did you find it? Sorry, guys.
It's a company called Tea Leaves from Canada, and it's the apple pie tea. In fact, I should be getting my shipment this week. So yeah.
So if anybody out there that's a tea drinker that wants to have a really nice tea for autumn, apple pie tea is absolutely scrumptious, and it would probably be really lovely to have with apple pie too, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Anyways, Donna,
or an apple tart.
Oh, anything pastry, apple would be good, I think. Yeah. And actually, I just have to digress here a little bit on pies because I don't know if anybody saw this. I actually, I normally don't have pumpkin pie for breakfast, but I did actually have a piece of pumpkin pie with some strawberries and a piece of cheese for breakfast. And I actually had gotten a special plate, but I'll tell people next week about where I got this plate. And it's got Jack Skellington on it, and it was just really, really cute. And I thought I'd post that on my Facebook. A lot of people agreed that pumpkin pie for breakfast was fine.
Absolutely.
Anyways, Donna, you told me about and have since taken the Happy Haunts tour at Disneyland. And I didn't even know that a Happy Haunts tour existed because it doesn't exist at Walt Disney World as far as I know. I think I would have found out about it. Yeah. So tell us about what kind of a tour, what did they do? Like just start from the beginning and walk us through.
Sure. Well, actually, this was my 5th year doing the Happiest Haunts tour and my 20th Disney tour overall.
Oh my gosh.
So I would say I'm a tour-aholic. So, yes, I love these tours. They're fabulous.
I agree.
And being an annual pass holder, you're like, well, what else is there? What else is there? And so I started looking into the tours, and they are just wonderful. They're a great way to go with I call them the plaids. It's the tour guides, and they take you around. And for the Happiest Haunts tour this year, we meet in Tour Gardens, and you get a little earpiece and a thing to hang around your neck, and you can hear the tour guide, so they don't have to shout. They have a microphone, so they can talk to you.
Okay.
And then you head on over to California Adventure. You start in Tour Gardens in Disneyland, and then they walk you straight over through the gates into Disney's California Adventure, and they talk about how Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas has taken over the park and has decided to decorate the way he wants to decorate for Halloween, which is filled with bats. So the top of California Adventure has all these bats flying out of Oogie Boogie, and all the way down Buena Vista Street, you can see where all the bats are on the banners, and all the trees have purple lights in them. And there's a headless horseman, and there's bats coming out of the top of Carthay Circle. And it's just really amazing. They did a really great job. I love how they did that.
Oh my
and
gosh.
So we get to go trick-or-treating, of course, because it's a Happiest Haunts tour, and it's, Halloween time. So we go over to Charlie Treats, and the whole group, we all say trick or treat, and they bring out pieces of pumpkin fudge for everybody to get this big giant piece of pumpkin fudge, and it's delicious.
I have had a piece of that pumpkin fudge, just a tiny piece that I bought when I was there. Oh, it's so amazing, but oh my gosh.
It's really good.
Sugar rush, immediate sugar rush.
Yes. Keeps you going for the tour.
I bet. Oh, this is awesome. Continue. This is great.
Well, the night that my daughter and I went on the tour, they were having a special cast member award ceremony for cast members who had been there for 10 years, 15 years, and they were setting up. They had closed California Adventure early, and so they had a red carpet, and they were setting everything up in Cars Land. So unfortunately, we were not allowed to go down into Cars Land, which is decorated adorable for Halloween. But that is part of the tour when, they don't have special things going on. But then we headed back over to Disneyland, and the whole time they tell you stories about Halloween traditions, how we got the jack-o'-lantern, how they started out as turnips, and just really fun things to talk about, and how they decorate and why they decorate a certain way, and how we came up with costumes and trick-or-treating. And it's really fun to learn all the lore of, this, my favorite holiday is Halloween.
And something that is so lovely. I've only been on one tour so far. It was the Keys to the Kingdom tour at Magic Kingdom, but it is really steeped in history, and you do learn some of those secrets. It doesn't change the magic. It actually enhances it, doesn't it?
I agree. Yes. I've been on the Walk and Walt Disney footsteps at Disneyland 3 times, and I just adore it.
I have a question about the Happy Haunts tour. So when do they start those? How long of a period of time do they offer the tours?
It's only during Halloween time. So as soon as the Halloween time starts at Disneyland, which is usually like the second Friday of September, and it runs all the way through Halloween.
Okay.
And so you can start booking the tours 30 days in advance. And like I said, this is my 5th year doing it, and I'm not sure how many years prior that they did it.
Okay.
But when you go through Disneyland, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They take you on the Haunted Mansion, which has been turned into Nightmare Before Christmas, and always has the longest line in the park during Halloween, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we get right on.
Oh, nice.
And there's a great place in the park in Frontierland that's called Rancho del. They celebrate the Dia de los Muertos.
Right.
So it's beautiful. So if you've seen the movie Coco, you know a little bit about it, and it's just really beautiful. And that's where you get our second trick or treat, and which is Pan de Muerto, which is like bread of the dead. So it's a special Mexican bread, and you could either get a savory or a sweet bread. They had 2 different ones available. You didn't get to pick, but they just kind of handed them out.
Right. And
we got the one that had like caramel inside, and it was really good.
Oh my word, that's my kind of bread.
Exactly.
You had to say that. Did I say that?
Always go for the sweet.
Unfortunately, yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a quick question before we go on.
Yes.
So are those tours only offered at night, or are they daytime as well? Probably night only, right?
Well, they start off in the late afternoon, but by the time you're finished, it starts getting dark, and you can see all the beautiful lights come on, it really turns into something special. Nice. Especially when they take you over to the Halloween tree, and they tell you about the special story about Ray Bradbury and Walt Disney. And it's a special tree. It's an old oak tree that's in Frontierland across from the shooting gallery, and it's only decorated for Halloween. And Walt and Ray were really good friends, and he said that he always wanted to be a part of Disneyland. So back in 1997, they finally dedicated this tree to Ray Bradbury in honor of his short story called The Halloween Tree. And it's
Oh.
one of my favorites and my daughter's absolute favorites. And they have all these beautiful orange and yellow lights with jack-o'-lanterns hanging in it. And it's just really beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And if anybody listening doesn't realize who Ray Bradbury was, he was instrumental in a lot of lore and a lot of really cool short stories. I think that is so neat. I didn't even know that. I had no idea that
Yes.
Ray and Walt had that relationship. Very cool.
Yes. Yeah, they were very close. And my daughter has read the story and absolutely loves it. So it's always one of our favorite parts to visit, during the holiday.
Nice.
And then at the end, you get a special treat. They take you into a special room, and you get to have your picture taken with two of the hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
and so if you're familiar with Phineas and Gus,
yes,
those are the two ghosts that you get to have your picture taken with.
That would be an absolute blast. Now, you know what? You had me at, they take you into a little room. Whereabouts is this little room? Because it must be sort of a secret
I don't know if I should tell you that.
Oh, okay, tell me the general vicinity then. I'm curious to know.
Well, let's say it's not in the mansion.
Okay, all right. That is such a blast. Did you guys dress up? Is it something that people dress up to go onto, or do you do anything kind of Halloweenish?
No, because only during the Halloween parties, Mickey's Halloween party, are adults allowed to dress in costume.
Oh.
So we went on a non-party night. So we just had, our regular festive Halloween outfits on.
Oh, okay. Now that was your 5th Happy Haunts tour. How did it vary from another? I know Carissa was asking if they ever get repetitive. Do you hear too much of the same things when you do the same tour twice? I think some people are wondering that because, I would imagine that you pick up, like it's if we watch a movie again, you always pick up more things. Were all the tours different, or did they have some overlap, or what's your
they
take?
are different because in previous years we've had a ghost host come and talk with us and follow us along with our regular tour guide. We've gone on to Ghost Galaxy. We've ridden Big Thunder Mountain, which I know is one of your favorites. And every year is different. And at the end, you always get a special trading pin. And each year is different. So it's a different theme. And I know for the 60th anniversary, the pin came with a special death certificate.
Oh.
So that's one of my favorite pins.
Now, you wouldn't think that Haunted Mansion is your favorite. I mean, walking into your house, right, Donna? I'm saying that very tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so this is, so Donna actually was on another show, I think it was last year sometime, talking about the documentary she was involved in because she was such a Haunted Mansion fan, and she has a Haunted Mansion decor in part of her home as well. So Donna, can you just share with us a little bit about what you have Haunted Mansion like in your home?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, my husband's home office is all decorated like the Haunted Mansion. So I had molding installed in his room that looks like the paneling and the walls and the ceiling when you first walk into the foyer of the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I have the same wallpaper that is a reproduction Victorian paper that's the same that's in the foyer as the Haunted Mansion. I have a chandelier hanging in there. I have the dueling ghosts. I have the stretching portraits from the 30th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion, which the 50th is coming up next year. So I've had these for 20 years. I just absolutely adore them.
It's the 50th anniversary already. Oh,
yes,
gosh.
I know. It opened in 1969. Yes.
Wow.
Don't we feel old now?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
No.
Oh, continue, because it's absolutely stunning.
Well, for on Halloween night, I decorate the front of my house all haunted mansions. So I have tombstones. I have the hitchhiking ghost. I dress up as a ghost myself in 40 yards of shimmering white tulle with a black light on me, and I talk very slowly and move slowly and pass out the candy. And the teen boys, I think, appreciate it the most. They're so lovely. At first, they're freaking out because they're like, "That's not real. That's not real." As they're walking up my steps, and then they see me and they're like, "Wow, you're a really good actress."
Oh, I love it.
Really awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I did dress up as a bride, the Haunted Mansion bride, one year for the the Mickey's Halloween party, and I had like long black hair. I'd glued spiders all over the wedding dress, and oh my gosh, that thing was heavy because it was an old wedding dress. I stuffed it in my suitcase, flew all the way from Canada for it, and put a little bit of dead like makeup on. And you know what? It was so funny because the cast members actually thought I was a fellow cast member. They thought I was the runaway bride from the Haunted Mansion. Actually,
my goodness, that's amazing!
I had so much fun. So I could just imagine if we ever do the Haunted Mansion or do the Halloween party, we should both go. That'd really confuse them. They wouldn't know which bride was which.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do that next year.
Oh gosh, I would love it. I really love those Halloween parties because it's just, when I was just recently there, when we had sort of with the changing of the guard, we were not staying for the Halloween party on the Friday night, but oh my word, the costumes and the effort they look like they're off a Hollywood set, which.
Yes, people take it very seriously and plan a long time for those costumes. There are some so creative people. Oh my goodness, just amazing. I love just people watching when I go to the parties. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I've got to share something because I actually got these for my sons. Thank goodness they have the same size feet, but these are really cool. And I'm hoping I can, people can see them, but they're actually Haunted Mansion Converse shoes, and they've got all the eyes, from the wallpaper in the mansion. And I just thought they are the coolest thing. And I actually bought them, and you cannot buy these normally. I actually bought them from a lady at the Disneyland show who they were her sons, and I don't even think he wore them. Maybe he wore them once. I'm not too sure. And I actually bought them for my son. So it's kind of cool to get something unique like that pin that you got at the end of your tour. And those little things that are they're not quite one of a kind, but they are very rare. They're very special, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's only for the tours, and you have to sign up for it. It's only for that year. Yeah. They don't recycle them. So it's very special.
Yeah. I also, I didn't tell you that I was going to ask you about this, but I am absolutely amazed at your parties that you put on for the movie nights that you have for your family and friends. And you had mentioned the movie Coco, because when I was just in Disneyland, they had a nod to Coco in there, and it was really neat. I got some photos with some of the setting there, and I just wanted you to share with us some of the things that you did. If any of you out there want to do a Coco themed movie night, Donna is the gal to talk to and to look at her photos, because she is so creative. So you take it away, because I got that one recipe from you, but I would like you to share what things you did on top of just watching the movie.
Well, this is my 12th year of doing backyard movies. I love entertaining, and every summer I've been doing backyard movies, and I get a little crazy because I love to decorate to the theme of the movie. So I've decided to do Coco, and I bought some banners, the paper banners with the cocoa from Mexico. So I have official ones and decorated that. I got a lot of Dia de los Muertos stuff that I put all over. I bought candles at the Dollar Tree and put them all over the backyard. So it was just, beautiful ambiance and I happened to I had Mexican hot chocolate in a crock pot so people could come and serve themselves. Mm-hmm. But I also made homemade spicy marshmallows to go inside. And it had cinnamon and cayenne in it. So you put the marshmallow at the bottom of your cup and then you ladle the Mexican hot chocolate on top and it just melts and makes it nice and spicy and yummy.
Oh, my word.
And then I made some chocolate cinnamon marshmallows, and those were for the s'mores. I always love to have a s'more bar for everybody because it gives people something to do and talk and of course eat something really yummy. Mm. And when I toasted the chocolate cinnamon marshmallows and put them in the graham crackers with the Hershey bar, it tasted like an Oreo cookies and cream. Oh. It was really delicious. Mm.
Sounds good. Oh my gosh.
I'm making you hungry, I can tell.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, except I don't have the time to do that, to make the marshmallows right now. I mean, I will as soon as this book is finished until the next one, is ready to get started. But oh my word, that's so fantastic.
And then
go ahead.
We asked people to bring donations for a local food pantry, and for every item that they bring, we give them a raffle ticket, and then we raffled off cocoa decorated sugar cookies. Oh. So everybody got a cookie, and then I raffled off for the big prize was one of the cocoa mugs from Disneyland.
Oh, nice.
So that was the main gift, yes.
My gosh, what an evening. You and now I remember you said it was a little chilly that night. I think you had said. Was it?
It rained the night before, okay. And so I was really scared.
Yeah.
But it ended up just having a slight chill in the air. It really wasn't uncomfortable. It was really nice. And it was a lovely evening. Everyone had such a great time.
Oh, I can imagine, and I'm thinking that the hot chocolate would have just been the perfect touch just to
it was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Donna. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of that with us. I just, one of these days I will have to get onto that tour. I think that would be really, really fun. And of course I wanted to get on the Walking in Walt's Footsteps tour, but of course that was booked up, for quite a while in advance, I'm pretty sure, because I couldn't get on it. But listen, you have a great, wonderful night. And again, we'll be in touch, though.
Yes, definitely. We'll have to plan our trip next year together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. That would be so much fun. Okay, thanks, Donna. Take care.
Okay, you too, Steve. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, gosh. I just absolutely love hearing about other people's adventures in the parks because she's very fortunate. She lives about an hour away from the park, 45 minutes away from the park. And I live, it's about a 3-hour plane ride from Disneyland. So it's always fun to listen to other people's adventures. I'm going to be finishing up the show tonight, but I'd mentioned that I wanted to find out who your favorite Sanderson sister is. Now, Hocus Pocus is a movie that, it didn't do that well initially in the theaters, but it did become kind of one of those classic Halloween movies we have it on VHS, and you can rent it, of course, anywhere on Netflix and things of that nature now. But they actually are showing that movie for several days in the Halloween season in theaters. It's kind of interesting how that kind of picked up momentum and became one of those movies that people want to watch during Halloween season. And, when I was watching it yesterday, I know the witches are they're not nice people. They're you know they're quite bad actually, and the whole premise of sucking the life out of the children, is not really good either. But you know what? It all fun, and in all good fun. My favorite Sanderson sister is definitely Bette Midler. I just can't get over how she looks, how she acts, and it is so sweet when she has to go into what they call the calming circle, because she's of course very spazzing out an awful lot during the movie, and her sisters Sarah and Mary bring her kind of back down to earth, so to speak. And I just have to say that apart from her being like the baddest witch of them all, I think she's my favorite because of her crazy hair, her teeth, her lovely, just I shouldn't say lovely, but just her whole disposition. And my favorite part of the whole movie, probably, well, two favorite parts is when they meet the fellow who is passing out candy at his house and he's dressed as the devil, and they think that's their master, and his wife is Penny Marshall. So that's quite a fun combo. But also when she goes and when I should say Bette, when Winifred is her name in the movie, is putting the dancing spell on all the adults. I think it's just a riot. And I really, really enjoyed that movie. There's just so many different things about it. And that I think is just so much fun for Halloween. It's got just enough of the scare factor for me personally, but not over the top. Anyways, guys, this is coming to the end of our first part of our Halloween special. I've got more in store for you next week. I just wanted to thank you guys again for joining me. It's getting dark out earlier, guys. I can't get over how dark it is right now ending my show. I remember it was still fairly bright and light just a month ago. At any rate, you guys have a wonderful week and be safe, and we'll talk to you next time. Carissa just had a comment. She only started watching the movie last year, and now it's one of her very favorites. She likes Sarah the best, but Mary and Bette are hilarious too. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I did ask you guys before coming on, and I'll ask you this before we sign off. Who is your favorite Sanderson sister? And do you have a reason why? I know that, as I said, Bette, or Winnie, as her name is mine. So if you want to comment after the show, feel free to do so. Again, have a wonderful evening. Good night, John. All the best to you, especially. Hope you're feeling better real soon. Good night, everybody. Take care. See you next week. Bye for now.